Hello and welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and today we've got a debut on the channel for the constructor Tacosian with an extraordinary looking puzzle. This is all normal rules, so there's no strangenesses going on in this grid, and we've just got the Fistamafel ring sort of highlighted with white dots and some very short thermometers and very short German whispers lines and a couple of stray dots here and there. Absolutely bizarre. Now, this has been recommended to us by one of those viewers that we sort of implicitly trust with their judgment. And we sent it to one of our testers as a result, and the tester says that this is fantastic. So I'm really looking forward. I think it's an older puzzle though. I'm not sure how old, but I think it's been around for a little while. But this is what we're going to have a go at today. Now, before we kick off, a couple of things to mention. Firstly, I want to plug Marty Sears' puzzle from the other day. Here it is, quad code. The feedback we've been getting about this puzzle has been just terrific. I'll try and remember to put a link to the video, but it's sort of got everything you might hope for. It's got words in it, it's got fog in it. It's called Quad Code, and definitely worth checking out. So once you've made your way through the quiet box of Tacosian, have a look at Marty Sears' Quad Code. Definitely worth your while. Tomorrow morning there's a bonus video coming on the channel at 10 o'clock UK time. It's me tackling one of these puzzle hunts by the clever folk over at Jane Street. So you can have a go at that when the video goes live as well. Very, very interesting. Probably if you like cryptic crosswords, definitely have a look at it. Other than that, over on Patreon we've got our monthly competition running, and for one more week only. And I've got some birthdays to talk about. So we'll start off, actually Dave, we'll start off with you. Dave, your wife Laura wrote to us. I think you've turned 35, although my writing is very bad today. Your birthday is tomorrow, and you're having sushi, which I fully approve of. The next thing I don't approve of fully, chocolate health bar cake. What's that? That doesn't sound right at all. You just want chocolate cake, my friend. But your wife Laura says that you are a wonderful husband and father. So many happy returns, Dave. I hope you have a great day tomorrow. Next, Maggie. Maggie, it's your birthday today, and I know this because your boyfriend Max wrote to us and told us that you enjoy watching the channel while crocheting with your cat Freya. When I first read the email from Max, I thought it said crocheting your cat Freya. I was thinking, can you crochet cats? Is that allowed? But no, it's with your cat. Maggie, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, and you enjoy it. No, I mustn't make any jokes about crocheting cats. My cats might hear me. Anyway, next, Songkran over there in Thailand has turned 39. There's a few bits to this message. I think Songkran is named after the festival Songkran, which is happening today in Thailand. So, yeah, so that sort of makes sense. And Songkran has a brother and sister in Myanmar, and also has the friend who put Songkran onto Cracking the Cryptic has a Mek, I think, who turns 29 in a week's time on the 20th. So happy birthday, Mek, in advance. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. And happy birthday, Songkran, today. I have been to Thailand. I spent a week in Bangkok just after university. A most fascinating place. I can't remember if they sold chocolate cake. I was taken to a number of shops that sold suits. I remember that, but I couldn't even afford to buy them, even though they were cheap in those days. So anyway, Songkran, happy birthday. And then finally, Willem, is that how you say your name? It looks a bit like William, but I want to say Willem. Your son Tice wrote to us and said that you'd appreciate a shout out and you watch the channel. So Willem, many happy returns. I hope you have a great day today with chocolate cake, of course. And all that said and done, let's have a look at Quiet Box and see what Tacosian has in store for us. There aren't that many rules to this one. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so we have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. Adjacent digits along a green line must differ by at least 5, so if that square there was a 1, this square here would have to be at least 6, because it must be at least 5 different from 1. digits along a thermometer must increase from the bulb end. And all of these thermometers, you will immediately note, are ludicrously short. So imagine this square here was a 4. This square here would have to be more than 4. That's all you're being told. Very, very short thermometers. Cells separated by a white dot must contain consecutive digits. So if this square's a 2, this square has to be 1 or 3 to be consecutive with 2. Cells separated by a black dot must contain digits in a 1 to 2 ratio. So if this square's a 2, this has to either be a 4, because 4 is double 2, or a 1, because 2 is double 1, i.e. one of the digits will be double the other on a black dot. Not all dots are given. So that says that it's perfectly possible, for example, for these two squares to contain consecutive digits. There doesn't have to be a white dot between pairs that are consecutive. It's just in the cells where there is a white dot, you know that the digits are consecutive. And that is all the rules. Yeah, and I mean, maybe I'm just bringing my constructor hat to this, but I find this very, very extraordinary. This has a unique solution, but apparently it does, and it's fantastic. So do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, okay, let's just mention the Fistemafel ring, and it'll give me an opportunity to think about it. At first blush, I don't see how it's relevant, but there is a theorem in Sudoku. I've even done a number file edition on this theorem, which some over 1 million people have watched. Anyway, the theorem states, named after the great constructor Fistemafel, who sort of first used it or discovered it. It says that these 16 yellow cells are the identical digits to these 16 cells that happen in the corner of a Sudoku, and if that's true for any Sudoku, and you know, so if you're doing you're doing your Sudoku in the back of the newspaper, you can prove this to yourself. It will be true. And sometimes, yeah, I mean, how can that be relevant here? I mean, we know so little about at least 3 of the corners. I don't know. I don't think that's going to be. I normally, when I use Fistemafel, I will prove the theorem, but I'm not going to spend 5 minutes proving it if I'm not planning on using it in the solve. I'm wondering if it's about 5s. That's the other thought that's occurring to me, because, well, each stretch. If we just focus on this stretch of digits for a moment, that's clearly 5 consecutive digits. Now, if we select any 5 consecutive digits in Sudoku, because we're only picking from the digits 1 to 9, there'll always be a 5 in the string. If we start with 1, we'll get to 5. If we start with 9, counting backwards, we'll get to 5. So, and anything in between will obviously have 5 on it. So there's definitely a 5 in this string. There's definitely a 5 in this string, there's definitely a 5 in this string, and there's definitely a 5 in this string. Which might make us say, well, the problem is you could have a 5 in the corner. Otherwise, there would be 4 5s in this string of digits. Even so, I know so little about these corners, I don't know how to use that even if that's true. Okay, let's try a corner of the box then, because one thing I can also see is, let's say this square was a 3. Alright, that square is not actually a 3, I don't think. Yeah, that's not a 3. Because if it's a 3, I think we have a problem here. But and the reason is, imagine this is a 3, well then these have to be 4s. They can't go downwards, because if we go downwards, make these 2s, these will have to be 1s then, and by Sudoku there's no way to fill the 4th digit in the sequence. So if this is 3, we have to sort of ascend like this. And you can see we get a problem here now. There's no way to fill this cell. Because again, we can't go up from 7 because we'll go 7, 8, 9 and then this square will have no fill. And we can't go down 7, 6, 5 because that square is going to clash. Right, so there is some restriction. I'm not sure though, I'm not sure it's massive. That logic must be the case for 2 as well, mustn't it? Because that's just going to go up, up. And then we're going to get the problem. I think it's not going to be the case for 5. If that's 5, or maybe if we go the same way from 5, 6, 7. Yeah, if it's 5, you have to branch in different directions. You'd have to do something like this. Okay, so that is interesting. Oh, so are we being... maybe what we're being told here is that there must be at least some 5s in these corners then. Because the other digits that I feel will work here are digits like 1. But of course, if I put 1 there, I'm going to get 5s in those 2 squares. Yeah, sorry, the reason 1 will work is because we get to 5s here, and then these squares don't have to be equal to 3 because we can continue to ascend, if you see what I mean. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so actually... Okay, so what we're actually being told is that this ring it does have 2 5s in it. No, it's got 2 5s in corners, either there or there, and a 1 and a 9 in the other opposite corner. Now, I appreciate that I haven't possibly explained that fully. I mean, I can see that is true now. How am I going to prove that? Maybe we could do... yeah. Okay, here's a way to do it. We'll switch away from numbers for a moment. Let's go to letters. Because I think this will be a more general way of thinking about it. So let's take a middly letter from the alphabet. Let's make that M. M is quite near the middle of the alphabet, isn't it? So there are 2 possibilities for the way that these strings can develop if this is the digit M or the letter M. One possibility is that we sort of go M, N, O, P, Q like that, and we would do the same thing here. Hopefully it's clear that if we go downwards from M, if we go backwards in the alphabet from there, if we go L, K, what's it going to be, J, I, if this is how we develop from the M, then you can see we've used 9 different letters here. In other words, this would have to be a 1-9 pair, and this would M would have to be a 5. That must be clear, right? So without loss of generality, what we can say is that the other possibility, other than us having 1s, 5s and 9s in these 4 squares, is that this digit just, it goes the same way. Now, is this proof going to work? I don't know yet. It should do. So yeah, here we go. So now the question is, how do we develop the strands from the Q's that have to go down here and here? Well, hopefully you can see that we can't go back to M here. Because if we go back to M here, what's this digit going to be? It's going to be O. It's always going to be O, and it's always going to clash. So the only digit that this could be is going to be if we continue up the alphabet. So R, S, T, U would be half. And then we've got 9 different digits around this strand, and we're going to have the same thing here. So you can see that it's forced, basically. There are 9 different digits. We must put 9 different digits. Maverick's just about to fly past me. Slightly late today. It's taken you 15 minutes today, Maverick. There are going to be 9 different digits going around the Fürstenfell ring, which means that one of these corners, exactly one of the corners, will be equal to M. We can see that, can't we? Will be equal to 1, I should say. One of the corners will be equal to 1. One of the corners will be equal to 9, which in this instance is this one. And 2 of the corners will be equal to Q, which we know is the middle digit of the sequence, which is 5. Now the problem with this is we still haven't really... Well, we've got a bit further. We can now label these. These have to be 1, 5 and 9. No, what I was about to say is not true, so I'm not going to say it. I'm trying to work out whether these 2 are 5 or whether these 2 are 5. I thought it was going to be this box, actually, because I was thinking if those 2 were 5, let's push it. Well, let's talk about the green lines for a moment. You can't put 5 on a green line, because if you do, what digit are we going to put next to the 5? Has to be at least 5 different from 5. So if we go up, we get to 10. If we go down, we get to 0. And 0 and 10, or more extreme versions thereof, are not Sudoku digits. So you can't put 5 on a line like this. So if these 2 were 5, you'd have to put 5 in one of those squares. But I don't think that they're restricted. No. Oh, no. Okay, it's okay. Okay, this is very clever. You don't do this. It's not 5s. It sort of is, but it's not. It's not. It's polarity. Right. Let's talk about the other secret of green lines. So the other secret of green lines is that once we've worked out 5s can't go on a green line, we can think of any digit on a green line as either having the property of being below 5 or above 5. So let's imagine this was below 5. It would therefore be 1, 2, 3 or 4. What is the nature of the next digit along the line? Well, we know its nature is either to be below 5 or above 5. Could it possibly be below 5 again? No, because these 2 digits cannot be 5 apart at least. In other words, this digit would have to be from the other set. It would have to have the other property. And then that digit couldn't be 6, 7, 8, 9. So this would also have to be lower. So what that means is that these 2 cells have the same polarity vis-a-vis 5. They're either both below 5 or they're both above 5. Now this is the way to think about it. How could this now be 5? Now, if this is 5, we know 5 sits in a string around this ring, where it gets 1, 2, 3, 4 on one side, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the other, and that's going to knock. So can you? Let's say this was the 1. It's going to not. You're not going to be able to have different digits here. I don't think. Anyway, that's where my brain's going. So this digit, you can see, would have to now be lower than 5, because it can't be 6, 7, 8, 9. But this digit now needs to be lower than 5 and can't be. That's cute, isn't it? That is very cute. So this cannot be 5. So that is a 1 or a 9, which means its opposite partner is a 1 or a 9. We get 2 digits in the grid. Those have to be 5s. Oh, right, so we are in the world now, where 5 in box 7, look. It can't go in any of those cells, can't go on the green line for the reasons we mentioned, so 5 is in one of these squares. If that's 5, that doesn't look possible. We get to the 3rd secret of green lines. So all the secrets of green lines are being used here, because if this is 5, what's this digit? And the answer is it's very close to 5. It's got to be consecutive with 5, sorry. It's got to be 4 or 6. Now, could we put 4 or 6 in the middle of this sequence? No, because 4 and 6 are monogamous. on green lines. They only have one legitimate Sudoku partner. So 4 can only partner up with 9. It's the only Sudoku digit that's 5 away. 6 can only partner up with 1. So if we put 4 or 6 here, these two digits have to be the same digit, and that won't work. So we're now, I'm not actually sure we're much further. We know there's a 5. Ah, okay, we know there's a 5 in one of those squares then. That's less. That's underwhelming. Hang on. Hang on a minute then. What is it I'm meant to be spotting now? So if that's a 1, both of these are a 2. Oh, okay, so let's use the middle digits from the sequence, because that must be what we're meant to do now. But by that I mean, if this is 1, these two digits are both 3. If this is 9, these two digits are both 7, aren't they? And that must be the case for these squares as well. So there's a 3-7 pair up going across the middle rows and columns. And that means 3 and 7 by Sudoku are on the bulbs of these funny little thermometers in box 5. Now 7 is more, 7 is more interesting, because 7 on a bulb could only go up to, well, it must go up to 8, mustn't it? Because it can't go up to 9, because 9 can't appear in the middle of the sequence. So one of these bulbs is a 7 leading to an 8. Well, it can't be this one, can it? Because that can't be an 8. It's not consecutive with 5. Sorry, yeah, neither of those can be 7, I don't think. So there's an 8 in this one, or this one. That's really annoying, because I think that works both ways round. Okay, but by the same token then, whichever one of these is 1 has... Yeah, whichever one of these is 1, let's say this was a 1, then this is a 2. And that's on the tip of a thermometer. If this is 1, this is a 2. And it's on the tip of the thermometer. So one of those digits is a 1. Which means neither of... So now I've got a 1-7 pair, effectively. These two digits have to be from 1 and 7. They can't include 3. So 3 is on the other bulb, but then... Yeah, okay, let's keep going. So maybe what I should do is actually keep going with these thermos, because the 5 must sit in the middle of a 4-6 pair, mustn't it, on both sides? So we should just keep going. And then this... So this is either going to be an 8 or a 2. This is going to be a 2 or an 8. These are going to be 2s or 8s. Yeah, I could see the 3s and the 7s would match up, and these don't, but they are still a little bit interesting. He says trying... I don't understand that, so how? Oh, I see, right. Okay, so probably what we're meant to do, actually, is to... Actually, maybe not. Golly, actually, this is very, very interesting. It's a weird puzzle. 5 is in one of those squares in box 3. It can't go on a black dot, because black dots of their nature have digits that are half or double. So 10 and 2.5 are not valid Sudoku digits. Oh, come on, Simon. What is it I'm meant to do now, then? What I was going to say is what we could do is colour. Because whether this is 1 or 9, imagine this was 9. These digits, then, are all the high digits. And these will be all the low digits. So we could sort of just highlight these squares in one colour and highlight these squares in a different colour. And the reason that might be interesting is that now I can colour that digit and that digit by German whispers logic, because I know these two have the same they are the same colour by the properties of the way that digits oscillate along these green lines. So these are the same colour, and they can't be purple anymore because there are only 4 of one colour. 1, 2, 3 and 4 would be one set of digits, and 6, 7, 8, 9 would be the other set of digits. So I think that has to be, in fact, that digit and that digit are now the same by Sudoku almost. So those two digits are now yellow digits. But this is a bit annoying in a way, because 1 and 9 being on the sort of the middle of the antenna, if this was 1, there's no restriction. I mean, these have to be high, but they could be 6, 7, 8 or 9. There's no restriction at all. But the same is true here, isn't it? So we get sort of... Yeah, okay, I'm going to keep going with this just for a minute or two, because now, look at column 7. I've got the 4 purple digits and I've got the 5, so these are all yellow digits. Yeah, these are all yellow digits by exactly the same logic. No, so that's a purple. Okay. So maybe we'll come back to this in a moment, but I can see now that in these sorts of row 3 and column 3 and row 7 and column 7, I can complete my colouring look. So that digit now is yellow. I don't know whether it's this box that I'm meant to be looking at. I feel like there's something going on there, but let's go for... I'm just going to come back to the black dot, because this is quite interesting now, because there are a couple of black dot possibilities in Sudoku, 1, 2 and 2, 4, that would have the same coloration. 1 and 2 are both lower than 5, and 2 and 4 are both lower than 5. Now they are not the pairs, look, that breach this black dot. We must be looking at one from one set and one from the other set, one from the low set and one from the high set. So these squares are either a 3, 6 pair or a 4, 8 pair. And I don't know. I don't know how to tell which of those is correct. These are a 1, 7 pair. I'm going to actually draw that in. Oh, I've got it. I've got it. I've got it. I was feeling completely nonplussed. I was about to start looking at this box and starting to think hard about it. I don't have to. Oh, this is lovely. What? This is so lovely. I've got tears in my eyes. Okay, so we just worked out that these are sort of extreme digits in the Sudoku. They're 1s or 9s. How could these be 9s in terms of the middle box? Doesn't work. If these are both 9s, 9 has to go in the bulb of the thermo, and even though the thermo is stupendously short, that is enough to break the thermo, because if you put 9 in a bulb, you'd have to put 10 in the tip at least, and 10 in the tip won't work. So now we've got the polarity. These have to be 1s. Oh, when I put that in, it looked like the puzzle moved. Yeah, it does. It looks like these digits are moving to me. Hang on. They are. I think they're bouncing. Is that happening? I think it might be. Anyway, these are ones. Okay, so now that's a 1. So these are 2s, 3s, 4s. I mean, this may finish the puzzle, actually. This now is a 6 or an 8. So this is a 3 or a 4. Now, what does this mean? That digit looks very restricted. That's a 3. This digit has to be lower than 4 from thermometer logic, and it can't be 1, which has already appeared in box 5 in one of these 2 squares, and it can't be 2 by Sudoku, so I think that has to be the 3. Yeah, that's lovely. Oh, well, we're going to be able to complete these, but I think I know what this digit is now, because it's got to be lower than this tip. Now it can't be 1, 2, or 3, or 4, so it must be 5, which makes this have to be 6. But actually we knew this was 6 anyway, because we knew it was the different colour, so we could have just carried on. So I've probably just proved something that was totally obvious if you actually did. If we just carried on going round the ring, filling in the digits. 3 is in one of these squares. Oh, look at that, that's definitely moving digits. That's really peculiar. I haven't noticed that before. Oh, look, that's the 2, so that's got to be the 1. That's got to be the 7. And that works because 7 is less than 8. Knowledge bomb. There's a 7 in one of those squares. Oh, this is lovely. This is lovely. What's this? And the answer is, well, if we think about a consecutive pair of digits, you'll find all consecutive pairs of digits include an odd number and an even number. What's the odd number that appears in this consecutive pair? By Sudoku, it's not 1, 3, or 7. And it can't be 9, because 9 on here would require an 8 to be consecutive with it, so it must be 5. And this digit must be 4. Must be 4. I was about to say 4 or 6, but actually it can't be 6. Look, so it's 4. So 4 is there by Sudoku. 4 is down there by Sudoku. Fairly sure I can do the middle box. I just can't see how to do the Sudoku bit of it. Gosh, Maverick, will you? Why? Why, when you've been quiet all day, would you suddenly wake up and decide to come and do your fly pasts? That is a mystery. Not seeing quite what to do now. We've not got very many things left to deal with. We've got a thermometer there, but probably box 7 is where we're meant to look. That is not a 6. It's a high digit, but it's not 6 because that would require double 1. So that digit is 7 or 8, which means these digits are 1s, 2s, and 3s. One of these digits must therefore be a 4. Can't put 4 on the tips here because the 4 would need to be next to 9 in the middle. Okay, so this is... Oh, no, that's not true. Okay, well that's a yellow digit, isn't it? Because it's not a purple digit and it's not 5, so that is a yellow digit. Now, from a yellow digit perspective, it is 6, 7 or 8. And then we can ask the same question again. One of these digits has to be an odd digit, and that odd digit now must be 7. Oh yeah, much more straightforward than that. How could we put the 5 in the tip of this thermo? That would imply this was a purple digit, because purple is the set of digits 1, 2, 3, and 4. That can't be true. So the 5 goes in. The 5 goes in the bulb. The tip digit is now. It's not 7 or 9, so it's even, and it's 6 or 8. No, I was about to say something that's not true, so I'll refrain. No, I'm sorry, I'm still not quite seeing what we have to do. It must be is it something to do? It's probably Sudoku, I fear. Let's think about that. I was slightly nonplussed by the lack of... Oh, can I do more colouring, maybe? Perhaps that is the point. 5 is in one. Oh, yes. Okay, where's 5 in box 6? Sorry, I should have seen this ages ago. 5 can't go on a whisper because of the whisper secrets that we learned. So 5 goes here, which means both of these digits are yellow now. There we go. Right, now I've got 4 yellows in column 9. So that's all the yellows. These can't include 5, so these must be purple. So these are both yellow to fully colour box 9. Now, look at that. I've got 4 yellows in column 8. So that top digit's got to be purple. Oh, we could have got that if I'd used the 5 better. Okay, I've got 4 yellows in row 9. So anything that can't be a 5 must be purple. So that's purple. So that's got to be 1, 2, or 3. Can't be 4 by Sudoku. Okay, I've got to be more diligent. Sorry, I should have done this earlier. I think I've got to be more careful about colouring the digits, the correct colours. And then we can count to, if we can count to 4, we might be able to make progress. So 5 gets no colour. No, that's a bad question. How weird. I know one of these is a 5. Sorry. 1 second. How do we do this? There must be a 9 in this domino. So there must be a 9 in one of those cells there. There must be a 3 in one of these squares I've just noticed. Oh, and 1. There. Oh, I thought I was going to get the 9. I'm not. 9 has still got 2 places in box 8. But look, these squares here by Sudoku are a 1-3 pair, which means they're both purple. Get rid of the corner pencil mark. No, can this digit be 2? Yes. Where's 2 in this column? It can't go up here. So it's sort of naked, sitting on its own in row 5, column 4. So now we've got all the low digits. So these have all got to be yellow. Now we can colour this row. 3 is up here. So this should be it should be and is a 1-2 pair. So these squares are a 3-9 pair by Sudoku, but this we don't know the colouring of. Oh, hang on. It's just a phone message. In fact, I'll switch the phone over there. Naughty phone message. Okay, so it must be this column, is it? 6 and 9. 6 and 9 are both yellowy digits. So these two are the same, which means that must be a 7 or an 8 on the whisper, but on the whisper with a 1, which is very unfortunate. What are these digits? 6, 8, no, 6, 8, 9. That's not 8. That's not 6. So this digit, no, no, sorry, I'm having all the wrong thoughts here. Is it somehow this black dot? Well, if it is, I don't see how. Is it... We might have to colour, you know. Although I haven't actually seen any opportunities for where to colour, so that is a slightly discombobulating thought. I can't do more. Oh goodness, that's beautiful. This is a brilliant puzzle. This is a brilliant puzzle. Good grief. Right, here is a very simple question. But it's beautiful. Okay, so I'm now going to go back to that digit. I think I can get that digit at this point. But not by thinking about that square, which is the weird thing. Oh, this is sick. Right. So, here is the question. That I think we should ask now. How many digits in common are there between that thermometer and that thermometer? And the answer is 0. There cannot be a digit in common, can there? Because let's say that there was a 3 on this and a 3 on this. Well, then we couldn't put 3 in box 7 at all. It couldn't go anywhere. And that means these are a set of the digits 1, 2, 3 and 4. And that's really interesting, because where is the 4 going in this set? And the answer is, I don't know, but it's definitely in the tip of the thermo, so one of those two squares is a 4, and therefore that can't be a 4. Isn't that gorgeous? That is one of the most simple and elegant deductions that you will ever see in a Sudoku. That is so beautiful. So that's a 3, and that's a 6. And now that's a 6 and that's a 9. Okay. I was expecting that to just finish the puzzle, but maybe... well, hang on, what's that actually doing? So these squares are now 7, 8, 9, triple. That's weird. 6 is in one of those two squares. 6 is in one of these two squares. Oh, that's so peculiar. Hang on. I don't know. That's really weird. No, sorry. One of these is 6. Does that matter? I don't think it's going to. These are 7, 8, and 9. I shouldn't do this because all I'm doing is pencil marking yellow squares with all the options for the yellow digits. I'm not really learning anything in addition. Maybe what I'm meant to do is to... Sorry, Maverick's about to fly past again. Oh, goodness. Right. Here's another deduction. This 3. This is quite simply. This is so clever. Right. So not only do we learnt one of those squares was a 4. I don't really have a good way of pencil marking that, but it's true. But the corollary of that was that this became a 3, but now neither of those tips can be a 3. But we know that these digits are all different, so we know one of these digits is a 3 and it's in a bulb. And that means one of these tiny little thermos is a 3-4 pair, and the other one is a 1-2 pair. Now, I don't know what that does, but that is true. Yes, I do know. Oh, goodness me. This... this is quite brilliant. This is one of the most brilliant puzzles that we've seen on the channel. In fact, it's not really even this which was brilliant that's brilliant. It's this, and that. And this sort of sequence is so ridiculous, because one of these thermos now is a 1-2 pair. I don't know which one it is still. But how can that be a 7? It can't be, because if this is a 7 in the middle of a whisper, it will cause a 1-2 pair in the tips, and it will break one of these thermos. So that's an 8. Which means that's a 6 and that's a 7. There's definitely a 3 in one of the tips. So these are from 1, 2 and 4, I suppose, is the corollary of that. That 6 gives me a 6 here by Sudoku. And a 6 here by Sudoku. Aha, aha. So how many 6s have I got? Lots. Oh, bobbins. I've got a sort of an X-wing of 6s, though, that are unresolved, I think. So one of these is 1, 2, one of them is 3, 4. Which means that... How do we work out which way round that goes? I don't know. That digit is 2 or 4 by Sudoku, because it can't be 1 or 3, but it is low. This digit is 2 or 4 by Sudoku, which means that digit is 1 or 3 by Sudoku, because if this is 2, we know that's 1, because we know there's one of these is a 1-2 pair. If this is 4, we know that's 3. And that means... Maybe I meant to colour the... Oh, okay, hang on. This domino here, where does that domino go in box 7? Well, it goes there, doesn't it? And therefore... it goes there in box 9. And therefore... Right, okay, so I'm going to slightly modify my colouring now to focus on the second digit, actually. So let's give the first digit a different colour. So we can go, those are now green and blue. These are green and blue. Now, where does this specific digit now go in this box? And by colouring, you can see it's even, so it's not 1 or 3, it must go there. But that blue digit could be either of those. Oh, I don't know. Sorry, I thought that was moderately intelligent, but apparently not. Right, so maybe I don't know. Oh, nearly. No, okay, I've got to think of something else. Let's try and find... I know one of these digits is a... Oh, that 5 just pairs up over there. Sorry, and I realise I've sort of stopped speaking. I'm trying to... A 5 is in one of those squares. Oh. Okay, we sometimes talk about chocolate teapot triples. That is a chocolate teapot quadruple, look. Each of these cells has 2 options, just from the pencil marking of the remaining digits. But they aren't resolved because they each have 2 options. that digit is purple. Right, okay, there's a point. That digit's purple because I could see it couldn't be 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9, so it's purple. Now it's not 1 or 3, so that's 2 or 4, and therefore if we look at this row now, we've got 4 purples, and that digit also can't be yellow because it's got 4 yellows looking at it, so that is a naked 5 sitting in this square, which gives me a 5 here. Right, and that has, okay, so let's go back down here now, because that 5 is pushed into this square, which immediately allows us to unwind our chocolate teapottage. Right, 4 in that square is good, because we know 4 has to be here now, and therefore we know this thermometer is a 4-3 pair, because we know now there's a 4 on this thermometer, so that's 4-3, that must be 2-1, that's a 3, not in the corner. This is a 1-2 pair. Let's tidy up the pencil marks. This is a 3-4 pair, and we know the order. Oh, this is so gorgeous. This is a worldie, this one. This is an absolute worldie. It's just finishing. Yeah, come on, it's finishing. I hope that's not famous last words. That square has to be a 7 or an 8, and it has to be yellow. That seems to make that a 9. 9, 6, 8. We've not put 6 into this row. Lots of the middle is done, isn't it? What's that digit? That's a 7 by Sudoku. Because that's actually become yellow. In fact, let's just try to keep going with our highlighting. So that's purple, isn't it? These two are both yellow. We haven't put... Where's the 2 in this box? 2 in the corner. Where's 1 in this row? It's got to go there. So that's purple. Now this square's got to be yellow. This is a 7-8 pair. Whoopsie, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to put pencil marks in. Now, is it done? Maybe it is actually, because that's an 8 by Sudoku, 8, 7, that's now a 9 by Sudoku, so that should be an 8. These squares are a 7, 9 pair. Where's the 9 in this column? It can only go there, so 9, 7, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, my goodness me, what a puzzle that is. I think it's right, let's see, yes. 14 people in 260 days. That's a travesty. That is an absolutely world-class puzzle. I mean, actually, I really like this because it was weird. But what I really liked was this. That sequence is so unutterably clever. I cannot tell you how impressed I am with that. Tacosian, take a bow. Again, if we ever make another book, we shall be in touch with you, because that is really, really special. That is really special. I loved it. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.